Hello and welcome back to Project Freelander. Just thought I'd do another video. I can't really document much of doing the work because I find it difficult when we're dealing with brake fluid and everything when we're trying to work. So, as you'll know from my previous videos, the car had a couple of issues. Number one, we had a tight front caliper on it. I freed off all the other ones, but I've had it out over the weekend, and this one, it was all, you can see how hot it's been getting. Luckily, it's speed. It definitely hasn't warped the disc, otherwise I'll be changing these. So, new caliper, and I'll get the light. I'm doing this a bit differently because to how I would normally do it. What I've done, I've searched on the internet on eBay, and believe it or not, I mean, this was going to cost me about £60 or £70 for a brand new caliper, and I'm just simply not willing to spend that kind of money on a car of that value. So I've done a bit of hunting around on eBay, just simply get the genuine LandRover numbers for the caliper, the brake pipe, the flexi, and a set of pads, and I managed to get this. I mean, it looks a bit rusty, but it is actually brand spanking new, reconditioned caliper for £20. Just through searching some simple numbers, you can see it's brand spanking new. There's a bit of surface rust, but it'll get surface rust on it the second you put it on the car and drive it in the rain, so it makes no difference. So, brand new caliper. There you go. There's no point just giving you any numbers off that because they're probably long gone. These numbers now, they'll be updated. Got these for, I think it was £10-15 posted, and again, to me, even trade, it was going to cost a lot more than that. Set of Mintex pads, there's the number. There you go. Just the pads actually on the car, we'll go over, I'll show you in a minute, are not bad, but I don't like the idea of how hot that side's been getting. So for the sake of that, new set of pads in. And again, I nearly got a genuine Land Rover, one of these, for only £10, but the person on eBay said they were away on holiday, so I got this for £8. Again, to me, they were going to be about 20 quid or more for this flexi. And there's your blueprint number, perfectly good brand. I use these a lot, there's no problem. So I am going to be replacing the flexi pipe on the other side when I get round to it. So that, and we've got these new fasteners for the caliper, as for some reason they don't come with the pads, but I had two spare ones. This is just a random buy because I got it with these. If you, obviously, I assume a lot of you use these Land Rovers for going out shooting and putting dogs in and God knows what, in the car stinks. Obviously, no thanks to him. So, this stuff here, if you go to any like professional like car valeting place or car sales kind of companies, this is what they use, Auto Smart. It's quite strange actually, the fact that the word Auto Smart isn't written on it, but it definitely is Auto Smart. And you get this stuff and it's like a blast. I don't know if you've ever seen them before, but I'll just spray it down. When we spray it directly at the dog, but if you spray it just there, it goes off like a jet. And it honestly, one little spray like that in the car, and it really freshens it up. So I've just getting them for having the dog in the car. That does smell really nice, that. So that's them. And again, this car, as I've mentioned, it's never been, for the last like quite 10 years probably, all it's done is gone back and forwards up and down this lane. Never had a decent run. Never really, I mean, I've given it a good run this weekend, done about 100 mile. Perfect. But just with things sitting for quite a while, as you've seen on my previous video, I've changed the oils, it's got fresh oils in, but I'm just going to put some of this. I did use this on a previous job, and it did work well. Obviously, we all know Ford, they're a good brand. It's just a bit of auto, because it's an automatic, this one. I've already changed the oil in the gearbox, but this won't harm, just to kind of free some of the rubber seals up inside and things like that. Again, it's a low value car. A little bit of TLC, it'll help it, you know. There's nothing more other than changing the oil in the gearbox and so on you can do without spending big money. And again, for the rear diff and the transfer box, just to add a bit more protection to them, as we know these Freelanders do suffer from transmission issues. Since I've had it remapped as well, it's run a bit more power. So just to ease any strain on anything, I'm just going to put one in. You know, I think I only pay, these are normally about, I think £15 or £20 each. And I got both of these and them posted next day delivery of, I'm sure it was only about £30. So really, I've say either paid full price for these and getting these free, and they're normally about 12 quid for two. So I thought that was a good deal. Right, we'll go over to the car and I'll just quickly explain. I'm not going to video working, I'll come back in once I've got it done. So naturally, normally when you change a caliper you would have to mess on taking all this off, but we don't need to because the caliper's coming off. We've took the clip off there, which is here. It's not in the best of states, but it's come off. But if you look how bad these federals are on this, they're terrible. So I'm getting that changed, obviously with a new pipe. And we just need to take that clip off there, the spring clip, release the brake pipe. Obviously you will get fluid coming out. So what we're going to do is, it's something I've tried a few times, but I'll try it this time. Normally what I would do is clamp the flexi, but since the flexi's coming off, the fluid's just going to run out. So I'm just going to go up, take the cap off the brake fluid reservoir, put this on, then put the cap back on, and it should help to aid the fluid all coming out. If not, where was it? Here, there's a little cap inside of there, which I'm going to use just to blank the end of the pipe. Again, if you ever get a caliper, this is a typical way calipers come, with nothing. You don't get copper seals or nothing, and it's fantastic how this blueprint ones come. If you can just see them in the back, I don't want to open them up to get everything dirty. See them two copper rings? They are, honestly, you need them, otherwise you will end up with a leak. So we've got 2 new copper seals, got all the new unions and stuff, so I'll get it built up now. Obviously I'm going to strip the other side down to put the new pads in, and I'll come back to you. It's just hard work trying to record. I'm sure all of you know how to fit a set of brake pads and stuff like that. If you want us to get more in depth, doing a video of showing you how to change a set of brake pads from start to beginning or something like that, I will, but I would have to be more set up with a tripod. People need to have these cameras, like body mount, head mounted cameras. I'm just using my mobile phone, as you can see in the mirror there. It's just really difficult under a wheel arch, and brake fluid's very corrosive. I don't really want that going all over my phone and stuff. So yeah, I'll come back to you when I've got a few more things dismantled. But one thing I will say, before you start dismantling these things, talking about using a mobile phone or a camera, just take a photograph just before you start work. And honestly, the amount of times I do this, I do jobs day in, day out. But when you're busy, you forget things, you forget which way things clip in. Not that really this needs to come off, but these little bits here go on the clips. Just take a photograph before you start, and you've got a reference to go back on. Honestly, you'll thank us for that one when you start stripping things down. And all you need to do is flick back through a photograph, job done. So I'll come back to you very soon. Right, I've got the new caliper in place. Top tip with these, when you're taking a flexi off that you can't clamp, just get a thin plastic bag and put it on the top. Remember, these caps have got like overflow, like valves in them, so that just hopefully should stop it. I'll just take the car up. So there we go, I've got it in place, got the new pads on. Again, Mintex pads far better than what was fitted. I've mentioned the disc looks rough, but it isn't warped, so that's the main thing. Caliper in place. This bleed, always be careful. This bleed nipple, the caliper had been dropped and I had to unblock it. You can see it doesn't really matter, it's got a slight bit of damage. But make sure you take them out and grease them with it, like a non-metallic grease. Like I've used some ceramic grease on that. Just helps you further down the line. If you need to do brake pipes, it won't seize and it won't kind of corrode as well. So that's been took out as well. Make sure you put your 2 new copper rings on this fitment. Again, put a little bit of non-metallic grease on there. It just helps if you ever need to take it out, but only minimal amounts, not loads, and make sure it fits within the area where it's got to fit, and obviously flexes the right way. But if you have a look there at that and have a look at that's how it should be. So I'm not only changing this flexi because it's like, obviously I'm putting a new caliper on, these federals are getting really rough. Again, I've just got a cover over the end there. So now what we need to do, I can't really film this. Luckily this is a copper one. It doesn't always mean they'll seal very well, but I have just cracked it and it's come away no problem. 9 times out of 10 you'll need to use some heat, some oxyacetylene, and we'll just need to remove that securing clamp, which is exactly the same as that. Just be careful with them because they're very brittle and they will fall to bits, but if you do break them, they're quite difficult to secure in place again. So I'll get this took off, I'll get it connected up with a new pipe, then it's just going to be a case of bleeding the brakes. Again, I don't need to really record that. You can either use an easy bleed and do it yourself, or do it the old fashioned way. Just connect the pipe to this and get somebody to jump in the car and just simply pump the brakes until the bubbles stop coming through and clean fluid comes through. Obviously that'll need tightened up, I haven't checked that yet. I've got to put everything in place, so I'll come back to you when I've done that. And obviously I've got to repeat the process at the other side with the new pads, but you don't need to watch us change a set of pads. And just in case anybody wants to know, obviously I've got this this Forte stuff. If you look on my previous video, the one for the gearbox I've already shown you is at the top, so it's just a case of making sure you don't spill it and dropping it into the gearbox. This is an automatic, remember. And for your, really, I'm just going to do this transfer casing. It's just that one there. Obviously when I take it out, a bit will run out. I'll have to use the vacuum machine just to take a little bit of oil out, so when I put the 40 in, it doesn't all just run out. So I'll do that. And the diff at the back, it doesn't have a drain plug. It's just that up there, which is your filler. Same process again. So there we go. I'm going to be doing a few other little jobs to this car, which I'm just crawling under the lift, which I'll document. If there's anything else you want us to see, if there's any information you want to know, feel free to drop a comment below. I mean, I'm not an expert on these by any means. I'm just a general mechanic. But, you know, if you want the part numbers, if you want to know about any of the jobs I've done, feel free to ask. That's what I'm here for. So I'll come back to you as soon as I've got that caliper in place, well, the brake pipe in place. Well, I'm going to end this video here. That's it done. Just thought I'd show you the finished job. It's a new caliper on, well, reconditioned caliper. Bit of ceramic grease on the back edges of the pads, stop them squealing. Like I've mentioned, that disc's getting hot, but it's not warped, so we're fine. New caliper on, that's it bled up. And just to show you obviously how thick that they should have been, definitely a job worth doing. This pipe had already been changed nicely into the clips. Now what I am going to do is go around and put some of this stuff, wax oil would I say. As you can see, I've already put it on the bleed nipple. It's just a case from new, if some of this, like anything will do, grease or wax oil, we'll put it, don't get it on the rubber, it's not good for the rubber. Just get it on these metal bits here, on these, for when you come to change your pads. Obviously onto them, these are called ferrules. And what we'll do is we'll just coat these spring clips, coat up there, and it'll just make your life a whole lot easier. It stops all the salt and the dirt getting on them and causing them to go corroded like they always do. So that's that done. What I am going to do as well, I've already put the stuff into the gearbox. If you look on my previous video when I did the gear oil change, I used that same straw and just simply let it go down. This is going to be a bit more difficult, as I've showed you. I'm going to have to drain a little bit off with the suction device that I've got, and then just get this into it, and hopefully none of it runs out. So I'm going to put that into the transfer box in the rear diff to split it up into two. So that's the only other thing I'm going to give a go with. I'm not sure how much of a mess it's going to make. Gloss black. I'm just going to try painting that a little bit. Just doesn't fit in with everything. Everything's nice and black on the front, and this is like a rusty. I was debating getting a sponge and just dabbing it with some paint, but it'll probably end off going all over, so we'll have a go. That'll be on my next video that I do, see how the end result comes of that. So there you go. So thanks for watching. I'll try and get some more videos done for you, and I'll catch you in another video. Like, comment and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.